right, we are live in our Facebook page. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning to those people who are watching live in our Tuesday Dementia training. Today we have a special guest, Miss Rachel Wiley. She is an occupational therapist. She is based in Philadelphia and just an awesome occupational therapist. And we just wanted to interview her, ask her some questions about her practice and about obviously dementia. That's the reason why we're here. We're here to help out and bring out the best in you. So if you are watching live, ladies and gentlemen, in our Alzheimer's and Dementia support group, please comment live. We want to know if you are watching live. And if you're watching on the replay, obviously we want you to comment replay because we want to know if you are still watching the replay. So again, I see Asha watching. Thank you very much for watching, Asha. And hello, Miss Cindy. Miss Cindy is another dementia expert. So let me just stop my share here so you guys could see Rachel's beautiful face and my beautiful face. I just dyed my hair, so it's pretty dark now. My wife dyed my hair. Thank you very much for my hair sponsor today. My wife. Really? Imagine I'm dyeing my hair. Am I that old? Do I look old to you, Rachel?
No, not at all.
Right? Gosh, I had to dye my hair because it's all white now. Speaking of dyeing.
These days, though.
I know, right? Speaking of dyeing, it's my first time that she dyed my hair. Speaking of dyeing, I had my patient. Speaking of hair, my wife, one of my patients, she has been so depressed that she's unable to get out of her facility, of that independent facility, because she can have her hair fixed. Imagine what's the COVID is actually doing to our residents in the nursing home and the assisted living and independent living facilities. And remember, hair care is very important. Hair care is very important. In that, when you dress good, when you feel good, or when you dress good and your hair is good, you feel good. My wife is like that.
Yeah.
So what more for our residents? Well, anyway, let me just reintroduce Rachel Wiley. She's just an awesome occupational therapist, and she's just here to talk about some tips for us how to handle your Alzheimer's and dementia loved ones. She's going to talk about her practice. What does she do? What are the services that she provides? And just being awesome for our group. So again, Rachel, could you reintroduce yourself? I know.
Sure, absolutely. So a little bit about me. I am an occupational therapist and certified dementia practitioner. I'm also certified in a program called Skills to Care, which is an evidence-based program for caregivers of people with dementia. Huge fan of Dr. Laura Gitlin and all of her work. So shout out to Dr. Gitlin. And then in addition to that, I do own Day by Day Home Therapy, which is specifically a occupational therapy practice for people with dementia and their caregivers in their homes, covered through Medicare Part B. I was previously just an in-home practitioner, but now with the change to telehealth, I can offer telehealth services through Medicare to clients in all of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. So I'm licensed. So I'm excited about potentially offering clients or more client services. And then I also own something called the Dementia Collaborative, which I really just started recently, but I'm hoping to be able to offer more educational resources to people caring for those with dementia. And I'm also an advisory council member for the Dementia Society of America, which I am very honored to be a part of. They're a phenomenal organization. And I also have family experience caring for people with dementia. So yeah, it's my whole life.
Amazing. You are doing amazing stuff. Asha said awesome, 3 states. So it's just amazing how you're doing that. But you're touching people, you're changing lives. And with all this association that you do, I think I really applaud you for doing that, because I'm not even active from all the other associations that we have. I'm only partnering up with Alzheimer's Association, but with you doing that, you're touching people, you're touching more people's lives. So keep up the good job. Well, anyway, going back to what we're supposed to do in the group, could you give us 3 tips about how we could take care of our loved ones that has dementia, because majority of our members here in this group are caregivers, and some are actually patients that has dementia or persons with dementia. So could you give us like a 3 quick tip on how we could take care of them? And then there's another person that asked a question. I don't want to tell his name, but or say his name, but I'm gonna throw that question to you later. So
okay, that sounds good. So I was trying to think of what 3 tips I wanted to share. And the 3 tips that I came up with, I know a lot of people talk about self-care. So I'll step back from that for a moment, even though that is really, really important. But the 3 tips that I have for you guys today are all kind of intertwined. So I'm going to start with this idea of communication and being very, very, very conscious of the exact words that we're choosing to use when communicating with our family members. So, for example, we know resisting bathing or resisting toileting are issues that come up quite often. So if we think about what's that initial resistance, and it might actually be to the word bathroom or toilet or shower. And so if we think about what's triggering that behavior, it could be something as simple as the word. Of course, it could be more complex than that, but I would urge everyone to really think through the exact words that they're choosing to use and the phrases, because that could have a really substantial impact on behavior and quality of life for people with dementia. So that's one.
Gosh, that is such a powerful, before you go to the second tip, words are very powerful, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to harp on that. Words are very powerful. I have, I still work at the nursing home. I still go to different facilities, and I do have my own small little practice and do also telehealth like what you do. And most of the caregivers, they say the negative word. They say one negative word. Remember, when you say one negative word, you have to counteract that with seven positive words. So if for example, the patient was holding a spoon and fork and they drop it, and then you keep saying, you keep dropping your spoon, mom, you keep dropping your spoon. Guess what? What they're going to remember is that they keep on dropping their spoon. They keep on dropping their spoon. Or you soiled your pants again. You soiled your briefs again, and they're going to keep remembering that. Remember, words are very powerful, not just verbally, because when words are just like it's like a double-edged sword. If you say a positive word, guess what? They're going to get a positive result. If you say a negative word, you're going to get a negative result. Just like a seed. You plant an apple seed, guess what? What you're going to get? You're going to get an apple tree, apple fruit. Right. If you plant an orange seed, guess what? You get an orange tree, orange fruit. Is that a tree? Orange?
Sounds
same thing with the words that we say to our loved ones or to the person that we are taking care of. And same thing with our life, with ourselves. If we keep saying, "Oh, I dropped my thing, I'm so clumsy," guess what? I'm going to be clumsy all the time.
Right.
But if you say, "I'm going to be better," you're not lying. You're not, But if you say what you want to be, you say what that loved one wants to be. So I'm going to stop talking. I'll let you do your thing.
That's okay. No, that's fine. Like, I think that's a phenomenal point. Not only the words that we use in terms of the meaning of the word itself, but also the emotion behind it. I think or the tone, that's a really, really good point. And kind of to connect that to another tip, use the environment to your advantage. So for example, if we're going to use this example of, mom, it's time to get a shower, or, can you take a shower now? And if she gives immediate resistance to the word shower, then let's not talk about the word shower. Let's take the word out completely, right? Or if the word toilet or bathroom is a trigger to resistance, cut the word out completely. Instead, let's use the environment to tell our family member what it is that we need them to do. So set up the bathroom to look like it's time to get a shower. Maybe you say something like, "Hey mom, let's go for a walk." Or, I need a favor with something. Can you come with me? And then you just happen to end up in the bathroom. Again, this might not work for everyone, But if we set up the environment to look like what we need them to do, that might speak for itself and allow us to cut out the words that are causing a behavior or a negative reaction.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you're watching, again, if you're watching live, please comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay. Well, anyway, did you hear what she said, what Rachel said? She said, you don't have to say that specific word. You don't have to say it. I'm going to tell you nicely now. I work at the psych hospital, and I don't tell the word physical therapy. When I go there, I don't tell the patient, hey, come in. We're going to do some physical therapy. You're not going to work. They're going to work. They're not going to work with me. Hey, what's going on, Lisette? Thank you very much for watching. They're not going to work with me because physical therapy is like, they're just going to work. They're going to exercise. No, we don't want that. Hey, Tawana, thank you for watching live. So they don't want to work. You know, when somebody's there and then there's a CNA, oh, Dr. Michael is here. You're going to do some physical therapy. I would be like, no, don't tell them I'm physical therapist.
Right.
It's not because I'm lying, but they will not work with physical therapy because in their mind, oh, I don't want to work. I don't want to exercise.
Right.
But I go there. I come in. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. My name is Michael. I'm just here to check on you real quick. I just want to see how you move your neck, how you move your arm. And they'll be, I can move my arm. I can move my neck. Well, I just want to see how you stand up and walk. And if you want to walk towards the bathroom, obviously, if they don't want to go to the bathroom, I'm not going to say go to the bathroom. Right. I just say, okay, let's just walk towards the nurse's station. It's just check on what they're doing. That's how you do it. Your words is very powerful. Mm-hmm. Your words are very powerful. So you have to change your words in order for you to change your world. If that makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for pointing it out, Rachel. Yeah, I love that.
Of course.
All right. So
sorry. I
you're
think
supposed
that's
to talk,
a great
not me, right?
too. No, I appreciate all of that information because I think it really hits home why these things are important. And the third tip that I chose to pull from, again, kind of connects to both of these tips, but think about allowing the person with dementia to feel as though they are still in control of some aspects of their life. So we know that people with dementia, they really are losing control over a lot of things in their life. You know, not only can they probably not maybe go to work anymore, they're not socializing with their friends like they used to, but now we get into, they can't even do self-care without some assistance. So when we think about why behaviors occur, a lot of times that's stemming from that internal feeling of, I call it a loss of sense of control, right? So think about when we use our words and when we use the environment, how can we allow the person to feel in control? And again, sometimes that's by removing our words. Sometimes it's using the environment. So then the person feels as though they're the ones initiating it. But really, we know that we had more external control over the situation. Even something like, you know, you need the person with dementia to drink. Instead of saying to them, drink the glass of juice, or mom, take your pills, or how about cheers? Right? I have a glass, you have a glass, cheers. Then I take a sip. Oh gosh, we make it more social, right? We're not putting everything on the person and telling them what to do every single moment of every single day. So hopefully those 3 tips are somewhat helpful, but I tried to pick 3 that kind of went hand in hand.
That last tip was very powerful because we have a problem with that. You know, another way for you to improve that drinking is you remind them, hey, mom, what time do you take your medication again? If they say it's 8 o'clock, actually it's 8 o'clock now, ma'am. Go ahead and take your medication. Again, that's where the words comes back in. Right. You know, are you asking them close-ended question or open-ended question? When you ask an open-ended question, guess what? They're gonna process that question. They're going to process. But if you ask them a close-ended question like a yes or no, you're giving them the power again. You're giving them the power, rephrasing, rechanging your words. Remember, you cannot change an Alzheimer's and dementia patient, but what you can do is change yourself. You change your words again, and you change your world and also your patients with dementia's world. So thank you for pointing that out. Hey guys, I'm learning here. I'm learning. Look, I'm writing it down actually. First is communication. Second is your words, and last, number three is make them look like it's their control. They're in control.
Yeah.
And this is what the
Oh,
skills to
sorry.
care. This is where Tipa Snow comes in. They're making sure that it's actually your loved one or your patient or the person with dementia thinks that they're actually really doing it, not yourself,
Exactly.
not dictating. Excuse me. Imagine I'm a little Filipino guy, and here comes a big tall nurse coming in and telling me what to do. Oh gosh, I'll be having some behaviors,
Right.
And imagine I have, if I get dementia, hopefully not, knock on wood, and I cannot understand English, and somebody telling me, hey, you take my medication, I'm just going to get confused.
Yeah. I still remember, Mike, I typically get clients referred to me because of challenging behaviors, but I still remember one client, something as simple as I was referred them because they were, quote, resisting taking their medication. And something as simple as I came in the first day, they had their little pill cup in front of them. So I said, you know what, to the family, give me a spare pill cup. Let me put a few, gummy bears in it or something small. And as long as you don't mind me eating your gummy bears. And I just sat across from the woman, chit-chatted for a few minutes. And then I said, cheers, and just kind of tapped medicine cups with her. I took my pills, she took hers, because I wasn't telling her what to do. I was showing her without my words, modeling for her what she needed to do. So our actions, and again, something as simple as just having a lighthearted conversation first can really have a pretty significant impact on our
perfect. I love that. I see Lisette said she's going to take the skills to care next go around. Cindy said, yes, Tipa Snow teaches choices and positive relational. She's awesome, right? I mean, if you are watching right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to give a special shout out to Miss Tipa Snow. She's just awesome. I interviewed her several times in my podcast, and I see her once a year, and she's just an amazing person. So you got to check out her videos. If you're watching here in the Alzheimer's and Dementia Support Group, you need to watch Tipa Snow's videos in YouTube. Okay. Nilda said, I noticed that people with dementia loves to talk. Why? Okay. That's another question there for you, Rachel.
Yeah.
I noticed that people with dementia loves to talk, and she's questioning why. So do you mind answering that for us?
No problem. So, I find it sometimes hard to generalize different actions or behaviors, because what could be triggering one person with dementia to talk a lot might not be the case for another person with dementia. So, it could have to do with a few things. One, it could be that the part of the brain that is maybe most involved for that particular client might be related to them talking a lot. Another factor could be socialization, right? Mm-hmm. So they're not having the same interaction with their colleagues, their peers, their friends as they used to. So they may be talking to fill in kind of this blank space, if you will. So when they don't know what else to do with themselves, or not really sure, what's going on, what activity to do, what they're supposed to be doing, if I just talk and have a conversation, then I'm filling this kind of awkward silence. And that's also when we see a lot of repeating too, right? People ask me a lot about repetitive stories, or my mom tells me the same story at dinner 5 times. It comes from a place of she's trying to make conversation. There's a lull in conversation. And so she's pulling from that same topic that she's comfortable with. So what I usually recommend in situations like that, and again, it varies case to case, but general rule of thumb, sometimes I tell people, why don't you create your own topic box? Pull out a box of index cards, write on the index cards a few topics that you think, you can engage your family member in. And before maybe they have a chance to tell you that same story over again, why don't you pull out a topic and you kind of start the conversation by reminiscing about something that they used to do that's different from their other ones. So I don't know if that answers your question, but hopefully that's
it does.
a little bit of help for you.
It does. Yeah. Nilda, I hope you learned something from that. And another thing, one thing that is really true with Alzheimer's and dementia, it's just going to get worse. Right now, if they're still talking with you and they're still remembering that stuff, I don't know if you heard what Rachel said about reminisce. Continue to do that. Keep using that. Keep talking about with mom or dad or whoever, because time will come as the dementia progress. They'll stop talking. They will stop because it's going to get worse. And that part of that brain, whatever part of that brain that's making them talk is going to stop, and you're going to miss that conversation with mom. And I know it's really irritating. It's, again, same question, same story again and again, but just make the most out of it. And just extract it, just extract it. I would even recommend that you record it with your phone, that conversation with mom. Why? Because my mom and dad already passed away. I have a last phone call from my dad where he accidentally pressed the button and I can hear his voice there in that voicemail. It wasn't direct. It wasn't talking to me. It was just an accidental call that he dialed. And I just hear that voice where he's talking to somebody else, like a butt dialed thing. And it's just amazing. It just touches my heart. Mm-hmm. And if you can record it, mom is just talking again and again. You record that. Make the most out of it. Do reminisce therapy. What's the reminisce therapy that Rachel was talking about? Basically talking about different stuff. If they've been talking about that restaurant that they've been to, ask them what's their favorite meal there. What's your how did you go there? Well, let me just turn off that thing. That's my wife texting me. Ask what their favorite meal. How did they go there? Who were you always there? And stuff like that. All right. So thank you very much for that tip, Rachel. Appreciate you.
And I should maybe also mention that maybe not so much the talking, but I'm because I'm an OT, I use these OT models, so I won't get into all the details of this, but there is a stage as we get closer to end of life that OTs we refer to as kind of the sensory oriented stage, where our clients are more likely to exhibit kind of repetitive sensory oriented behaviors. So for some clients that might look like kind of rocking, humming, scratching. For other clients, it might be just kind of gibberish, for lack of a better word. So vocalizations or kind of like yelling, again, humming, spitting, those types of things. So it might not be maybe meaningful in that they're not able to vocalize words that we understand, but it could be that they're expressing words or vocalizations in that stage as a way to meet kind of a sensory need, if that makes any sense.
That's true. That's so true. That's so true. Well, again, thank you very much, Rachel, for coming over. Appreciate you. Where can we reach you? Do you have any website that?
Absolutely. So I do have two different websites. One is daybydayhometherapy.com. That's for the Medicare and telehealth practice. And then I also have another website, the dementiacollaborative.com. And that's for, again, some of those kind of little videos and training, which I'm working on building. So if you guys have any recommendations for me, I'll work on those.
Excellent.
But thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Rachel. If you have any question, reach out to her. If you need telehealth services, reach out to her too. And
And
then
I should also say, also check out the Dementia Society of America. I'm partial. I love them, but they're a really great organization.
Of course, any kind of movement, any kind of society, any kind of association, the more we do this, the better. It's not, we cannot do this. I cannot do this on my own. Deepa Snow cannot do it on his own. Skills to Care cannot do it on her own.
Right?
Rachel cannot do it on her
village.
own. We have a lot of, we need more of
Right.
people who are doing this to educate people about Alzheimer's and dementia. So until there's a cure, there's a care. Again, thank you very much, Rachel. Again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any more questions, just shoot, post it below. Rachel will try to answer it through chat. But again, thank you very much, Rachel. I appreciate you. And thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you all the best. Be awesome, be great, be excellent. Thank you, Rachel. And you have a good night.
Bye, everyone.